G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on Gorge to witness two of the world's best players go up against each other. That is correct. We got two Conqueror 3s today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce our players for today. Spawning in on the north side of the map in the color red, playing as the English, it's Myriad. And on the south side of the map in the color teal, playing as the Japanese, it's Dudu. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Gorge. It is a pleasure to have your company. We're back once again with some 1v1 action. If you're enjoying this content, make sure you leave a like down below. It really helps out with the traction of the videos. Let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup. I love this matchup. We've seen this matchup many a times before. I suspect that it's probably going to be oriented around Castle Age, though. Just simply because the Japanese, they want to go fast castle. The English probably want to go fast castle up behind them. I think the biggest question is going to be about whether the English can get on the board with regard to relics, because the Japanese have got so many things going for them. So I'm curious to see exactly how Myriad looks to try and diminish the power of the Japanese early on in this game. So let's talk a little bit about like theory and what I think is going to happen. We don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. So we'll work with it. All right. So we're going to see a fast castle come out from Dudu. He's going to put his Yoroshiro into a stable. We're going to see lots of mounted samurai around the map, and he's going to try and pick up all the relics that he can. He's going to try and engage on the enemy knights effectively. And the truth is he will engage very effectively on those knights. The saving grace for those knights will be the Abbey of Kings, which Myriad should look to be putting down somewhere around, I'm going to say right here. Seems like a decent spot. And what he will hopefully be able to do is, if his micro is good enough, he'll be able to pull back those injured knights and keep them alive. The only problem is I'm fearful that he's probably going to lose out on a lot of the relics. And when you're on one base and you're up against an opponent and you guys are both kind of going for relics, that makes it very difficult. Now, there are more saving factors. As an example, Myriad could look to go into the White Tower in Castle Age. And if he does that, then where are we going with this? Interesting position. Abbey of Kings going topside. I wonder why this is. Is this because the relics are topside? Maybe. I don't know exactly what the thinking here is. But maybe he just wants to keep this all free. Maybe he's thinking second. Okay, maybe that's it. White Tower's probably going to go down here, or King's Palace is going to go down here. And then in the middle, we're going to have the farms. That makes sense. That makes sense. I accept that explanation right there. It's good trying to understand like what the players are thinking. But speaking of thoughts, we're going to see the Kuru storehouse come down. It's going to be towards the front of the base instead of opting for it towards the back. We have seen Japanese players look to put it on this back line. Typically what happens though is that you are not going to be able to get all of your farms in it. So we can see that he's offset it a little bit as well from the center of the town center, which normally you don't do, but he has done it here just simply because this is where the forge is. So we've slowly got the makings of a game that is undoubtedly going to be explosive in nature, especially when these guys hit Castle Age. The one thing that I'm kind of curious about is, do we see any feudal units whatsoever, or is it just straight to Castle Age? We know that there's going to be a king on the board, so how do you go about defending against the king? Well, you can put an outpost down, so that's definitely a welcome addition. I think you could, if you put it right there, I think he cancels a farm. So maybe he wants to go on this side right here. He's also going to have stone in the bank to further, or to put down arrow slits. And he does have quite a few villages on wood here. So he's going to have to act quick if he wants to get this outpost up before the king arrives. But maybe he doesn't look to play at all with the gold. Maybe he just says, you know what, Drongo, I'm just going to play feudal. But even if you play feudal, you probably want to get... That was very interesting. That was not something that I expected. A little bit of an archery range coming down. Okay, so we do have units, and immediately looking for the Takazaku upgrade. So, going to be going into that second level of wheelbarrow slash berry speed, berry gathering speed, and lots of villages here on gold. One thing to note though, we're only at 81 wood, and we need to be at 100 wood to throw down that outpost. So hopefully that outpost is going to get thrown down. Otherwise, he's going to lose this gold. And it's not a question of if. It is a question of... Sorry, it's not a question of when. It's a question of... No, it's not even a question of if. It's a question of now or in a couple of seconds. Because this king is running across the map. Jeez, I tell you what, you know, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not tired. I'm drinking Red Bull. I'm not drinking beer. And out of all the things, it's just going to be a barracks. that he throws down. And not only is he throwing it down, he's rushing it down. Look at this. 7 villagers. He's grabbed as much gold as he possibly could and says, you know what, Drongo? You have absolutely no idea how to play this matchup. Don't even try, my friend. Oh, my lord. I don't even know how we're seeing this. A couple of villagers do get left behind. So moving into, what, spears? Yeah, so he's going to go into hardened spear and then into a spearman. Okay, sure. That's a way that you can defend. A lot of resources to invest into this defense, though. And I kind of suspected he was just going to go Castle Age and go Mounted Samurai, but I guess it just goes to show that when it comes to the meta, I've been a little bit out of touch recently. I've been a little bit out of touch, not out of touch. I've been playing FFA. I've been too deep in the FFA meta. I'm like, in my mind, I'm just like, keep your king safe, buddy. Keep your king safe. All right, let's think about getting that Castle Age through. Look to scout out where the other kings are. It's like, bro, I know where the other kings are. They're right over here, and there's no kings. That's just the enemy base. A single spear now wards off that king. The only trouble is, you know what's happening. It's time for the longbows. The longbows are out. 3 longbows on the way. He could look to go into a samurai here to try and help himself defend against these longbows, but it's going to be tough. Going to lose at least 1 vill. There's no way that villager survives at all. First vill of the game does go down. It's going to be in favor of Myriad here. Now, keep in mind, both of these guys are Conk 3 players. Myriad, he's sitting at about 2k rating, currently about rank 20 on the ladder. Dudu sitting at about 1800 rating, currently sitting at about rank 35 on the ladder, I think. So they're both very close when it comes to their ranking. And when it comes to their rating, you'd probably give it Myriad a slight advantage, maybe like a 60-40 advantage in a fair matchup. But to be honest, this matchup, I kind of feel like it's Japanese favored, to be honest. The samurai just absolutely wallops the men at arms, right? Because it's got Odachi. And so you just get really, really good value out of it. Though I think the saving grace is definitely the hand cannoneer of the English in the late game. But I guess that's like, this is FFA brain Drongo talking and not like, not standard gameplay Drongo talking. Stable also going to be coming up here as well. Myriad should be able to find this, might be able to pick off a villager, moves the one on the end. Very, very smart and intentional. Ooh, that villager survived on just a slither of health. Outpost, nowhere in sight, not going to be needed, he says. I'm just going to put 4 horsemen in the queue, and we'll call it a day there, my friend. Well, I'm gonna be honest. I like how Myriad's open with this. This has felt very, very nice. The fact that his opponent didn't go outpost, it kind of blows my mind a little bit. Oof, have a look at this. What are we doing? Just a couple of palings around. All your base belong to us. That's what he says. That's a meme straight out of what? 2000 and... I'm going to go like 2004 for all your base belong to us. No, probably even a bit... Yeah, 2004? Yeah, let's go. I'm locking it in. 2004. I wonder if I'm correct or not. Somebody will let me know in the comments and I'll read it in about a month's time. Because maybe not a month's time, actually. No, these will be going up pretty shortly. Maybe in like a week's time or something. But meanwhile, behind this, we've got the knights starting to make their way, or the king starting to make their way through. No villager does go down here. Meanwhile, towards the front, the longbows have decided, you know what? We want to try and take out some villagers. Are there any with low health? Unfortunately, there's not. King does go down, and so do all the longbows. So Dudu finding his opponent in Dudu right now. That is for sure. I mean, quite literally, but also figuratively. And a lot of villagers now transferred to gold. So you know that Dudu doesn't want to be mucking around right now. He wants to go straight to Castle Age. I feel like this is maybe too many villagers on gold, but we'll have to wait and see. Myriad about to click up. Now, I feel like the smart move is to go into the King's Palace. It's definitely the smart move, right? Like, you just throw it down here on the back. You could put it on the gold, but with your enemy pushing, it's kind of dangerous. And to be honest, even at the back here, it could be dangerous. But there's a nice little spot here that you could just put it down. I'm 99% sure you could fit it in here. He's actually gone to get a second king out. Look at that. Wow, that's how much he cared about the king. He's like, we will bring you back, king. Do not worry. Just hold it down. Vill's moving out. There's no way this is going to be a white tower. It's a king's palace, but it's on the front. I'm gritting my teeth right now. I'm like, I don't know about this one, buddy. It's very far forward, and I feel like the English could punish this 100%. Do they just not know about it? Does Dudu not realize? Is Dudu going to find himself stepping in Dudu? Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Oh, wow. Very well played, because 100% he could have gone and put pressure on here. This is dangerous. Couple of spears here, though. Spears will move forward from Dudu. He's going to look to put on pressure, and he definitely can. Like, this is not getting rushed up anywhere near as fast as it should be. All of these gold vills should have been here, and it's greedy not to have gone for that. Spear's going to move forward now. Spear on spear action. Horseman getting in here, looking to try and find a way through. Spear number is looking pretty decent. Not going to lose any vills just yet. Landmark continues to go up. Dudu needs to turn his attention towards the villages. He's going to be able to find 2 or 3 here at least. I say that. King's going to go down. Good night, sweet prince. Even though you are a king, tonight you are but a prince. And somehow, some way, Myriad's only lost 1 villager throughout all of that. This is a really ballsy King's Palace. I was like throwing up about whether I would want to put it here. And the only thing that was like allowing me to do it was because of the coverage of the town center. Look at... Wow. 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 You want a race? He's going for it. Castle Age comes through, and you can see how much Dudu needs to get to the Castle Age. He realizes he's behind. He says, we got to kind of get up there. Like, we're falling behind. Throws it straight in the stable. There's the mounted samurai. Okay, I wasn't too far off the pace on expectation as to what these guys were going to be doing. Now, the big question for me is, where does Myriad go from here? Does he look to keep playing longbow? Does he look to switch it up, maybe go into crossbow? Or does he switch it completely and go into knights? I feel like knights could work. As I said, the only saving grace that you've really got is the Abbey of Kings. That's about it, because your trades with the mounted Sams are going to be way too hard otherwise. You can see he's got a couple of spears here. He's going to work his way through it. Needs to pull this mounted samurai back. He's taken out the first one. Oh, jeez, never mind me. He's not going to have to do anything, Drongo. He's just going to tank it all up. He's a Giga Chad right now. We'll definitely need to fall back. Loses a mounted samurai for free. I mean, I say for free, but it was like, you could have just brought it back here, left it, and then eventually, like, Mr. Shinto Priest is going to come and bring the relic back. That's the other thing to note. Like, he's going to be out here collecting relics, and it's going to take time. But speaking of relics, let's check in on the other side of the map. Do we have a monastery up just yet? It doesn't look like it. In fact, it looks like Myriad's going to be doubling down on this infantry mindset. I don't know if I agree with this. I feel like going into Cav maybe made a little bit more sense here, but to be honest, it's going to be really hard going Cav against, like, Yorishiro stable, right? Like, this is triple stable that you're talking about here. Mounted Samurais, objectively better than Knights. Just incredible units. Like, the fact that they get this special deflective armor, it's so hard to play against. He loses another one, though. Not sure how I feel about this. First relic's on the way back through. He's going to be looking to pick up another one shortly. We can see the Yorishiro is going to be, or the floating gate is rallied out towards the forge here. He's going to be looking to throw the Yorishiro in the forge, get himself a little bit of gold. Definitely the right call here in 1v1. In FFA, I'd be like, yeah, you got to throw the forge down in the back corner, mate. Wall that shit up in with stone and wall it in 3 times. But in 1v1, you can be like, yeah, this is my front gold, and I'm going to put a Yorishiro in it. And if it dies, and I die with it. But Mounted Samurai still continuing to push forward here, right underneath the enemy King Palace. Veterans, he's now come through for the spears. And you can see that he's really trading out these Mounted Samurai. He doesn't really care about losing them. So far this game, he's lost, I think, 4 or 5, which is a decent amount. Like, that's an amount that you could be throwing underneath an enemy town center and really looking to punish them with. Not going to be happening here, though. Second Shinto Priest is now out as well. Going to be moving towards the north side. Keep in mind, he's got this safe relic to pick up. Central relic is being camped for the moment. Though with the amount of mounted samurai he's got here, keep in mind he's going up against double counter units, spears, which will block the charge and do obviously extra damage here, and the crossbows, which do extra damage against heavy units, and he's still able to take them on. That is absolute insanity, just how much damage he's able to do here, clearing out a pathway to pull in that relic. I'm curious which one he goes for, because he does have the Shinto Priest back here. He is just going to look to take this central relic. No walls coming up on any of the relics either. And towards the north side of the map, that's going to be the third one that does get picked up shortly. So really, really good position here for Dudu. Needs to make sure that this relic doesn't get chased away. Come on, Dudu. Commit right here. Picks it up. He's going to have to bring these mounted samurai back in to try and bait the spears into bracing, because when they brace, they'll stop moving. So a little bit of a mistake here. Needed to attack into the spears. He's going to try and pick up the reinforcements. If he loses the Shinto Priest, it's not a big deal, but there are monks on the map at the moment. So it's one of those things where it's like, you got to kind of be careful with it. You can't really be allowing this to happen, right? Like, this was avoidable. But at the same time, maybe it was a smart move, because look here, he's now picked up reinforcements. I don't know whether he would have been able to take this head on, but he definitely took out the reinforcements head on. Second relic now coming through. This is going to be the third relic. Fourth relic just over to the west side. Meanwhile, the fifth and final relic of the game is picked up by Myriad. That was weird. He was carrying the relic, and it said that there was a relic inside. I was like, excuse me? How did you get 2 relics? There weren't 6 relics that spawned on this map. But, no, indeed they weren't. But have a look at this. Nice little intercept route coming through here. Mounted Samurai starting to look pretty decent. He's going to throw out the wall alone. Not going to find success. Have we got any monks moving on the way? We don't appear to have any monks moving on the way. And this is the other thing, that Dudu can just pick off the monks before they come out here, right? Like, you've got the Shinto priest moving in this direction, and he sees the spears, and he gets a little bit scared of it. But at the same time, you can just pick up reinforcements, and Myriad's kind of like stuck in between a rock and a hard place. And I think that's so smart by Dudu to be going after this. Have we got the monk on the top side? We do have the monk coming on the top side. Ayyubids now going to start coming out. Did he throw the Yorishiro in the barracks? No, he didn't. I was kind of hoping that he would. It's going to go into the farmhouse instead. He's looking to try and deny this relic on the top side, and I think he might actually find it. He is picking up reinforcements. Let's keep an eye out on whether he actually goes for it or not. But still cleaning out reinforcements. These mounted samurai attacks are insane. Like, this is actually ludicrous how much value he's getting from it. But it's kind of on Myriad as well. Like, I would definitely say it's kind of Myriad's fault for just rallying into it. Like, it was a long time ago where you should have just started rallying here and then sending these out in groups of like 8. At that point, then I would be like, okay, maybe now we've got a problem. Yeah, Dudu's just been cleaning up his opponent from here. Interestingly, we see Myriad take the furthest relic away, so not going to take the close one, which is very, very interesting. Is he thinking about potentially sniping away both of these? In which case, I would say that's a massive misplay from Dudu, because all 4 of these relics should have been his, and he definitely could have cleaned them up. So a little bit of a mistake here. Does he see it on the minimap? Maybe he didn't see this last relic on the minimap. Where was the wagon? It was over here. No, he definitely saw it. This is 100% in his vision, in his view. He's now going to be looking to pick up the 3rd relic, and now I think he should do the math and be like, hold on a minute, there's a relic missing here. I thought I had a relic, another relic. Dude, look at this spinning. Dude, did you see the spinning to win, dude? I feel like I'm watching Swiftblade all over again. What's it called in Dota 2? Juggernaut. Or Garen. Yeah, now I'm giving you guys some references that you'll understand. Garen. You guys know Garen, right? Garen's cool. Spin to win, all that good stuff. You remember when T90? Remember when Tyler 1 was playing Garen? Oh god, that was fun. Didn't he hit like top lane only playing Garen? Or hit Conk 3? Hit Challenger only playing Garen in the top lane? I think so. Maybe. Oh, bit of a mistake right there from Myriad. Crosses over the sacred site. Would have alerted his opponent to the fact that he was carrying this relic. But it already alerted him to it. He's going to allow it to go scot-free, though. Wow. Not even denying the monk out there where he could have. Dudu making a little bit of a mistake. Only 3 relics to 2. Definitely should have been 4 relics to 1. So he's going to be feeling the hurt a little bit here. Now, one thing to note is that Myriad's been 2TC this entire time, right? So he's been investing resources into villager production, whereas his opponent Dudu hasn't been. So we've seen a lot of units now coming out, but what you're about to see is something incredible. This is one of the hardest pushes in the game to stop that is about to come here. The relics have all been picked up, and now Dudu just looks to sit back and chill. The push that you're going to see is Ayyubids, Mounted Samurai. I have played against Conk 3 Japanese players that do this as the Chinese, and I've gone 2TC, fast castle. I've followed all the right rules. I've made lots of spears, and I had, nests of bees, and I did my walls and all that jazz. It absolutely destroyed me. This combination is, in my opinion, like the secret Japanese combination. Like, this is the secret that they need to win the games. It's just that people don't really know about it. It is incredible. Like, when you inevitably watch this fight happen, like, don't look at look at the military numbers. But it's been, like, so far throughout this game, Dudu's got a lot of free units. Like, if we look at the destroyed value, it's surprisingly pretty close here. It definitely doesn't feel like it should be. I feel like Dudu has got a lot of units for free. But I guess Myriad has been killing mounted samurais at the same time. The main issue that you've got, though, is that there's no real counter to this, right? Like, you go spears, they get destroyed by the Ayyubids, and it's really easy to micro, right? Like, you just move the Ayyubids to the front, and then you just attack move because they're fast. Archers need time to pick off the Ayyubids, but you also need to, like... It's incredibly... I really don't know what the answer is to this combo. I'd love to see what the answer is. Like, maybe it's... Mango's not on the table. Maybe it's, like, a keep. Maybe a keep keeps you alive here. Maybe that's the play. Maybe that's what I was missing in my Chinese games. Because I played against the same guy like 3 games in a row. And he did the same thing every single time. And every single time I'm like, okay, 2 town center, fast castle. Let's do it. We got it this time, Drongo. Nope. Nope. Nope again. And it was always like a delayed attack as well. Where I was thinking to myself, you know what? Like, my fast castle, my 2TC should have paid off by now, right? Like, ooh, Yoshiro, what are you doing out here, brother? You gotta go find yourself somewhere nice to call yourself home. Look at this. Poor little guy's getting chased all the way back. So, yeah, I really don't know what the answer is. And at the moment, it looks like Men-at-Arm Crossbow is going to be coming out for Myriad. But the big thing with Men-at-Arm Crossbow is that it just gets melted by Onnibigation. Like, Onnibigation can literally just solo Men-at-Arm Crossbow. Let's have a look and see. He's going to be going in for a bit of an attack right now. Keep in mind, he does have the movement speed in his favor. Looking to try and push down upon this center village. Is going to evacuate away from the outpost. Now sieges are down and says, hey man, we talked about it before. You're not putting an outpost down here in the middle. He's got that nice little bonus damage from the banner man. Now beginning to move forward. There's not really a defensive line here. He's able to make his way through onto the back. The Mounted Samurai now going to start to clean up all of the men-at-arms on Onnibigation. Make their way through. They're absolutely looking to destroy this backline completely. And they say, you know what? We don't even need to worry about the backline, Drongo. We'll just kill the front line instead. Look at the amount of damage that they're able to deal through here, just cutting through the enemy forces like a hot knife through butter. The Onnibigation, they spin and they win, baby. Look at that damage. That is incredible. And now the numbers overwhelming. I feel like the only thing you can really do here would have been a keep. Like, I don't see any other way that you really manage to survive this, right? Like, it's got to be a keep. It's got to be boiling oil. I don't know how you beat this push. I genuinely don't. He's been 2TC for like 10 minutes now. The town center has well and truly paid off. His economy is killing it right now. Now, granted, there's Yoroshiro on the other side, but it's just like, there's just so many units coming out right now from the Japanese. This is incredible to watch and to witness and see just how powerful it is. I mean, he did well this game, just constantly picking up reinforcements. Myriad was never able to build up a huge mass while they were fighting over the relics. But in the end, like, it is just a complete cleanup. Look at this, outnumbering him right now, 4-1. It is a completely different ball game from a minute ago, and it really leaves the question, what do you do against this? If you've got ideas, leave them down in the comments, because I read the comments that you leave on the videos, and I look for feedback, but I also look for like tips as well, right? So I don't know if you got any tips for me, but if you've got any ideas about what beats this, specifically as the Chinese, I'm all ears. I would love to know, because as Myriad is right now, I'm a little bit clueless. I'm wondering what the hell just happened. Like, how did this happen? How did the Japanese just go from kind of being chilling in the back of the limousine with John Cena to just overwhelming me so damn quickly? It is insane how fast this happens. So, all sacred sites now taken. 3 relics for Yoroshiro. No relics now in the bag for Myriad. The other thing to note is we could have our Shinto priest moving up here to steal away the relics. Indeed we do, and that's going to be it. He throws in the towel. This Japanese push is, in my opinion, kind of broken. But to be fair, I'm not as good as the top guys. Anyway, we'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Go check out Myriad. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can watch him live. And of course, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.